going on, YouTube? It is Tuesday, September 20th, 2022. This is NAR episode 24. Today we're going to be going over a Zero Hedge article. This one is titled The Full $16 Billion List of What Biden Has Sent Ukraine. It's an article written by Tyler Durden. It says U.S. military just told its own soldiers to use food stamps to keep their families fed during this ongoing period of high inflation caused by Biden regime's own flawed economic analysis coupled with the establishment's COVID-19 lockdowns and the war in Ukraine, which is why the full list of 15 plus billion in aid being sent to Ukraine by the U.S. government is likely to hit harder in the solar plexus. Yeah, we're just sending, almost 16 billion in aid to Ukraine and then going ahead and telling our own soldiers to just, get on food stamps, guys. According to the U.S. Department of Defense, there has been a whopping 15.8 billion in security assistance to Ukraine since the beginning of the Biden administration, including more than 15.1 billion since the beginning of Russia's unprovoked and brutal invasion on February 24th. Yeah. Here's a list of all your taxpayer-funded equipment that has been dumped into the most corrupt country in Europe. And yeah, they are very corrupt, which is, I think why we're helping them out. So, I guess in this article, they're going to go ahead and show us pictures of these systems that we've been sending, and then also kind of like a number of how many. So they start off with right here, over 1,400 Stinger anti-aircraft systems. And then we got over 8,500 Javelin anti-armor systems. Those are the ones that take out the tanks and stuff. Over 32,000 other anti-armor systems. Over 700 Switchblade tactical unmanned aerial systems, so drones, Switchblade drones. 126 155 millimeter howitzers, and up to 806,000 155 millimeter artillery rounds. It's quite a gun. I mean, I admit I'd love to have that thing in the backyard. What could you do with that thing? 2,000 precision guided 155 millimeter artillery rounds. Man, I'm just like awestruck by these guns. These things are crazy. Definitely not something you can go pick up at like Bass Pro Shops or anything. 20 105 millimeter howitzers and 180,000 105 millimeter artillery rounds. 126 tactical vehicles to tow these aforementioned 155 millimeter howitzers. 22 tactical vehicles to recover equipment, 16 high mobility artillery rocket systems and ammunition. It's pretty crazy too. 20 120 millimeter mortar systems and 85,000 rounds of 120 millimeter mortar rounds. 1,500 tube-launched, optically tracked, wire-guided tow missiles. 4 command post vehicles. 8 national advanced surface-to-air missile systems and munitions. Wow. High-speed anti-radiation missiles. 20 Mi-17 helicopters. So those are the Mi-17s. Interesting. It says hundreds of armored, high-mobility, multi-purpose wheeled vehicles. So there's, Hummers, basically. How many Hummers? Hundreds. Yeah, no worries. 4 trucks and 8 trailers to transport heavy equipment. 200 M113 armored personnel carriers. So those are the M113 right there in that picture. This would be like my ultimate thing. I think this is the one from Fear the Walking Dead, actually, if you guys are fans of that show. They have one of these vehicles in that show, and man, I fell in love. It's like a dark color in that show. And this one, it's like that desert gray kind of camouflage, or tan camouflage. Man, what I wouldn't do with 40 of these things. 40 Max Pro mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicles with mine rollers. Badass. Would love to have one of those, guys. And they're just, sent 40 over to Ukraine. Like, I'm a citizen. I can't have one, guys? What the heck? They're just sending them all willy-nilly to other corrupt countries. I need to go be a Ukrainian for a month and get one of these trucks, and then I'll bring it back to the U.S. How about that? I wonder if they would even let you do that. Mine clearing equipment and systems. Okay, so no number on that one. Over 10,000 grenade launchers and small arms. Over 60 million rounds of small arms ammunition. Damn, you could probably kill like the whole country of Russia with that. Over 75,000 sets of body armor and helmets. Approximately 700 Phoenix Ghost tactical unmanned aerial systems. I don't know why they don't just say drones. That's what everybody knows them on. Laser-guided rocket systems, Puma and unmanned aerial systems, so more drones. 15 Scan Eagle unmanned aerial systems. Those look crazy. Unmanned coastal defense vessels, over 50 counter-artillery radars, 4 counter-mortar radars, counter-unmanned aerial systems, 10 air surveillance radars, 2 Harpoon coastal defense systems, 18 coastal and riverine 18 coastal and riverine patrol boats, M1A or M18A1 Claymore anti-personnel munitions, C4 explosions, demolition munitions, and demolition equipment for obstacle clearing, tactical secure communication systems, thousands of night division devices, thermal imagery systems, optics, and laser rangefinders, commercial satellite imagery services, explosive ordnance disposal protective gear, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear protective equipment, 100 armored medical treatment vehicles, medical supplies to include first aid kits, bandages, monitors, and other equipment, electronic jamming equipment, field equipment, cold weather gear, and spare parts, funding for training, maintenance, and sustainment. That's a lot of stuff. And just like in Afghanistan, there's no mention of what happens to all this stuff after the war is over, assuming any of it still exists. The likelihood is, just like America's last forever war, it'll end up in the hands of unsavory characters. Considering the recent bans on political opposition in Ukraine, as well as the forced national consolidation of media, you may already say it has. So, lots to think about here, guys. This is a whole ton of equipment. I mean, if you see on screen, I'm just kind of scrolling through it right now. Tons of equipment. It's amazing what, all of our tax dollars buy and pay for, and how easily our government can just turn around and literally send all this equipment over to another country, a corrupt country, in the Ukraine. They're just going to go ahead and send all this over there. What about our military? This is supposed to be stuff for our military. We're sending 16 billion of it over there. How much money have we sent over there? Probably close to 100 billion by now. Also, like, this is just military aid right here. This isn't including the cash that we've sent them. So we've sent this country a whole hell of a lot of money and a whole hell of a lot of supplies. So what's in it for us? I think that's the question here. What are we getting out of it? And don't tell me that it's to defend democracy, because that's bullshit. Ukraine was never a democracy, and it's certainly nowhere close to being a democracy now. It's actually further away than when the supposed war or invasion or whatever you want to call it back in February when that started, they had more of a democracy then than they do now. And now we're just sending them billions and billions of dollars of military aid and financial aid. Like, this is so disgraceful. You know, the U.S. military just told its own soldiers to use food stamps to keep their families fed during this ongoing period of high inflation. I got news for you guys. The inflation's not going anywhere. I mean, once they get the prices up, the prices aren't going to go down. You know, they're not going to go down noticeably. This looks like our new normal is just, you know, send all of our money to other countries, deplete our military supplies. You know, this is all stuff that we would need in a conflict with Russia or with China. And they're just, you know, giving it away. And then, you know, I've heard stories even with the ammunition manufacturers here in the U.S. They're cranking out, you know, millions of rounds or whatever, and they're not keeping up with like their orders online and stuff from, you know, American customers, because they're making all this ammo and sending it over to Ukraine. And then meanwhile telling you that you can't buy those rounds because they're sold out and they're on back order and, you know, all the other excuses that they give you. So how long is this going to go on, guys? You know, we pull out of Afghanistan, we leave $80 billion in military equipment to the Taliban. You know, within what? Probably a few hours, they were posting videos, cruising around in all of our gear, laughing at us. Absolute joke. This Biden administration needs to go. You guys better get your little butt out there and vote in the midterms and get these people out of power. Biden needs to be stopped. The only way to stop him, you know, in the next few years is to win in these midterms, get these Democrats out of power, and start getting some sort of normalcy back to our lives. Get tough on crime. Stop sending billions of dollars over to countries that don't deserve it and don't need it. We're not the only ones sending them military aid and money and all this. And not to mention, it puts us in a situation with Russia, you know, where we're sitting there basically giving them all the tools that Ukraine needs to go and kill Russian soldiers. I mean, if I was Russia, I'd be looking at that. It's like, okay, well, these are the countries that are, you know, funding this war, that are perpetuating this war. Yeah, we're setting ourselves up for something really nasty later on with Russia, just over a country that used to be part of Russia, that, you know, they have sympathizers there. They have people that want to be there. They have people that, you know, love Russia there. It's a mixed bag. I think that's why this whole thing's been taking so long. Not to mention, it's a good money maker for them, especially Ukraine. Russia's doing way better than they were doing pre-invasion. The ruble is going up. Meanwhile, you have, you know, the ruble going up in Russia, so they're doing great financially. And then you got Europe, where the euro's crashing. And like right now, the US dollar is worth more than the euro. And for years and decades, it was, or at least it seemed like that, the euro was always more, worth more than the US dollar. So things have flipped, things have changed, and things definitely can change if we're not careful. You know, there's been tons of regime changes. There's been countries that have come in and out of power. Britain used to be the world's top superpower. It's not any longer, and it never was after World War II, after they got bombed into oblivion by the Germans. So power shifts. Looking at what we're sending these guys, and I mean, this seems like almost every single day we're sending them something. It's ridiculous. It's like you turn on the news and it's like, well, we're sending another, you know, 4 or 5 billion in aid to Ukraine, and then, you know, tomorrow you'll turn on the TV and then it's like, well, we're sending 800 million in military aid and supplies. What we should have been doing, guys, from the get-go on this was trying to get Russia and Ukraine to sit down, work their differences out, have a ceasefire, and end this conflict. But no, too much money to be made. The oil companies are having a blast. They're posting record profits in the billions, probably hundreds of billions, ripping us all off, all for this little proxy war going on in Ukraine. What do you guys think? Look at all this stuff. Look at what we're sending. And like I said, this is almost like on a daily basis we're sending them this amount of stuff. All this equipment, all stuff that, we need for our own military that was paid for by yours and my tax dollars. And the government just willy-nilly sends it to wherever the hell they want for no good reason. This country does not deserve this aid from us. They don't need this aid from us. It's not our war. It's just another situation where America is involved in a conflict that doesn't involve them. They don't need to be involved, and they got their nose where it doesn't belong. Leave a comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe, share these videos. Get the word out. Send this video to people. Get people pissed off. I'm pissed off. This is my money. I work hard. And now I got to struggle for some corrupt country, for some loser-ass leader who literally was an actor. He's never even been in government. And then the little dork wants to run around in a stupid camo shirt or an olive green shirt all the time, looking like he's in the combat zone or something. He is what he is. He's an actor. And if you guys buy this country's, BS, you want us to keep sending money over there, man, you guys are too far gone. It's amazing. Look at this stuff. Just going to scroll down one more time so you guys can see all this stuff that we're sending over there every few days. Unbelievable. I mean, you guys heard me read that list. It just goes on and on and on and on. It's like boring to even read. It's so long. And yep, there's no mention of, are we going to get this stuff back after the war's over? Yeah, right. Because we've already heard stories of the Ukrainians selling this equipment that we're sending. As soon as they get it, they just turn around and sell it, on the black market. They're not even using it for their own war. I'm sure they're using some of it, but I guarantee you, 100%, that some of this stuff is being sold black market. It's being sold to our enemies, people that can reverse engineer things and figure out our, weaknesses in our defense and use that, against us in battle. So awesome. I swear, guys, our government, they've got to go. Top down, clean house, and shrink the shit out of it. Like, this government is way too big for its britches. And now they're adding 87,000 armed IRS agents to come and harass us. When's enough, guys? Like, when are we going to stand up as a country and say enough is enough? We're not putting up with this crap. And start cleaning house. Because that's what needs to be done. This government needs to be small. They need to be efficient. And they need to stop with the bullshit spending. Trillions of dollars in debt just every year, just racked up. They don't even care anymore. They're literally printing money out of nothing now. Out of thin air. There is no gold to back this shit up. So while your country's bankrupting, or your government's bankrupting your country, Everybody is just sitting back and watching, keeping up with the Kardashians and watching their little stupid football games on Sunday and drinking their little IPA beers with all their, estrogen hormones in it, turning into little soy boys. Nobody's got the balls to stand up in this country anymore. Grow a pair, stand up for what you believe, and start on a local level. Take all this shit back. Take your school districts back. Take your local governments back. State governments, governors. And then we'll deal with it on a national level. All right, what do you guys think? I know I've said a lot in this. I've covered a lot. Leave some comments down in the comments section. And yeah, have a good day. We will be back. We will see you soon. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. Hit the like button. It helps get these videos out to everyone. And we will see you soon. Thank you for watching.